Hey there everybody, it's RCK and I'm glad to have you back here again for our next Dominions 5 series. Now this game ended up around December-ish, back when the bot was kind of messing up a little bit. But I have saved all the turn files. I believe the only turn I haven't saved was somewhere around the turn 30s-ish, but I don't remember us being at war. So the turn file itself wasn't really all that important. It was just the normal things as far as go. I just wanted to go over those few things before we started off here. And of course, once again, the wheel has turned. Let's go ahead and look. Today we're going to be playing Naba. Really, really fun nation. This was the second time I played them, I believe. Um, Altogether, I've really enjoyed the nation. I've tried Ubar one time since I played this, and honestly, I almost prefer Naba still, even though Ubar has their gens, and of course Naba has them too, but it's quite different since they're not recruitable. But really enjoyed this game, and I've really been enjoying almost every Naba game I've played since here so far. I mean, expansions go fairly well normally. Um, Other than that, I just like the way they look. So, here we have Naba. As far as the scales and the bless that I took, we'll go over that as well here in the first turn. We took productivity 2, we took order 2, heat 3, growth 3, luck 3, magic 3. Okay, so we went a very scales heavy nation. As far as the mods go in this game, I did want to say that this is going to be a Dominions enhanced game here. So lots of different new spells, lots of things for certain nations, of course. And on top of that, we're also playing the Bozmod. It's kind of just added on to the DE version of the game. Well, I think we're playing with worthy heroes, improved casting AI. So other than that, the very basic things, other than Dominions Enhanced, of course, that's the big mod we have here. Um, uh, Other than that, I have recently saw that on Lucid's channel, actually, he was doing a intervention type thing where he's looking at the nation stuff, and that is going to be played. That nation that he was looking at was played by Zan. That's going to be M.A. Mickland. As far as where he is on the map, he actually spawned over here compared to us. But I think that was looking around turn 60 or 50-ish, I believe. So just wanted to mention that. Zan is also a YouTuber. Not sure if he's doing anything for this game, but be sure to check his channel out, guys. Uh, I'm sure you can just look up Zan Dominions 5 and you'll find it. I might leave a link down in the description. That's if I remember to do it or not. Other than that, we do have Boz himself, the creator of Bozmod. He's also made some pretty cool maps. I believe he has a YouTube as well. You might want to check that out. Don't know how often he posts on it, but he is also in this game here. I'm sure he doesn't mind if I mention him. He's playing. I think he's playing early age Pangea. Now this is also an all age game, so there's all ages here. We'll go ahead and look and see what we have. This was a quite interesting game here. We have Krieg. Uh, what is this nation here? Iranor, Kangobia, Diamdula. Yeah, there's a few of the nations that you might not know. Uh, Untupaku, but we have Lemuria, which is a late age nation. We have Naba, of course, which is me. We have Jotunheim, not sure how you pronounce that. We have M.A. Pangea. We have M.A. Mickland. We have M.A. Ulm. We have E.A. Pangea, and we have E.A. Ermor. Lots of fun stuff. I love the name there. Really, really long name. It just seems right for a Roman style name anyway. Just a super long name. Um, we can look at the thrones here. It requires 15 points to win. There's a couple level 3s, a couple level 2s, a bunch of level 1s. Not too bad. As far as looking at this first turn here, we see that there is a heck of a lot of thrones around us here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't think we'll be able to get that far. Maybe after War 2, 8. Possibly 9, depending if we take out the person here. There are a lot of thrones around here. That's going to be quite interesting. Another very nice thing that we see with this start location here, we do have a throne in our cap circle. Not the best. That kind of sucks since we wouldn't be able to really capitalize on the resources from taking that province early on. But we do have a forest, which is fairly good. That's going to give us a decent amount of resources. But one main thing I see here is that we have waste. Now, when playing Naba, playing Ubar, especially playing both of them, you want to have a waste around you. You want to go ahead and take that for someone can kind of steal it from you, because you do have summons, you do have spells that can only be cast in a way. So that is going to be very, very beneficial for you to have one in very, how would I want to say it? Let's just say it's not good if you're not going to have one, okay? It's definitely going to hinder you. Whereas if you do have it, it's going to help you excel farther into your nation. Farmland, a bunch of waste. We have a farmland forest here in 32. We have a farmland over here in 56. Farmland over here at 7, but that's kind of far away. I'm sure there's nations that spawned over here as well. At 86. Very, very small little area to walk through here. Makes you wonder if anyone's going to come down here early. Because they're not going to be able to take this. I doubt, if it's a level 2, level 3, I doubt they'll be able to take this. I also really like the throne placement of this throne over here on the eastern side of our little coastline. And this is really blocking everyone that has spawned over here from expanding over here. So unless someone has spawned right here or right here, we probably wouldn't have to worry for a long time about anyone actually taking this and coming over. So there's a good chance that we're going to be able to secure all this land here, regardless if some people spawn down here. Just leaves us a lot of time to kind of like cut this off. We can go bam, 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 sit beside this throne here, and then kind of have all this reserved for us. Other than that, it kind of be said for the same for up here. Too bad that the road here is blocked by the throne, but we can go like something like that, and then have this whole western area here to ourselves. Being using that throne right there as a sort of a kind of mountainous terrain that no one can go by, even though, of course, they can actually go by it. It's just going to be hard for them to defeat it early on. So that would leave us a lot of time to secure up some of these nice independent provinces for ourselves. If anyone didn't know what the income is, we get one of fire, air, water, earth, and astral every turn. We don't have death, and we don't have nature, and we also don't have blood slaves. So as far as the bless goes, we got I believe it was morale +1, attack skill +2, so we went fire 4, and then we went astral 4 for magic weapons just in case we needed it. You have to think we do have a Lemuria in the game here, so we do have to be very, very careful about that. Probably a very big contender here for the water provinces as well, so we have to keep that in mind. But just to kind of have magic weapons as a backup in case we need it, because normally most of our troops here, like these elite soldiers, which of course will be making the bulk of our armies as far as the melee infantry side goes, they don't have magic weapons, but our Jan Guard, which are sacreds, they have the ability to take a bless, of course, so they can have magic weapons. As far as this first turn recruitment goes, of course, we are heavy on the gold, low on the resources, so I'm going to be making the Jan Guard first, because both of these units have the same amount of resource cost and the same recruitment point cost. The only difference is, I believe the elite soldiers, they hit harder. I think they have more protection. They do have a protection of 15 versus 13, but they are not glamored, so that's going to definitely help out the Jan Guard in combat here. And also, on top of that, you're looking at an attack skill of 15 by the time we bless these guys up. Defense skill 15, hitting for 21, not too bad. Just making them a little bit more survivable. So, of course, for the first turn here, we're just making Jan Guard. Normally enough, kind of depending on how gold constrained I am. If I can make them out of my capital, I'm going to make them out of my capital. But if I'm gold restrained, and like magic weapons doesn't necessarily matter, but we don't know who we spawn beside yet, I would just be making elite soldiers and camel riders, okay? That is going to be the main thing. We are prophesizing our commander here. We are leaving the scout here in our capital. We will use him to ping provinces as the turns go on to give us some information. But yeah, we do have a little bit of excess gold here because we are making a significant amount of gold, being 555 going scales. Of course, our capital always or will also give us an increased amount of gold per turn from a site. Of course, we have growth, but I mean, I still want to take growth 3 for all of our other provinces and things like that. Our first army, it's okay. The elite guard, they're actually pretty good. You can get some good mileage off of them. But the Naban Desert Warriors, they're good as well, kind of, but they're more of a Chaffee style unit. They have very low protection. Their scimitars, they do actually hit pretty hard with scimitars. As far as their stats go, very basic stats here, 10 across the board. They have short bows, which can be nice with things like flaming weapons and stuff like that. But as far as expanding, I really don't like to expand with them. I will go into more detail with what I like to expand as we're expanding itself. And I think actually, um, prior, or I think after or post game, now that I'm playing Naba a few times at this point, I do expand a little different than I did in this game, I believe. So that's quite interesting, and we'll talk about that as well. So this is all for the turn 1, guys. Let's go ahead and head on over to turn 2. I'll try to run through these turns fairly quickly here. A lot to scroll through, of course. There's a lot on there that doesn't show as well. I recently got me a new headset, so hopefully some of the background noise that you hear is my speakers coming into my microphone. Now that I have my speakers turned off, I just have the headset hooked in. You won't be hearing that anymore. That will also kind of help me play with other people as well, so that I look forward to that. Biggest Dickus, of course, for the Ermorian Prophet. Just a black harpy from Pangea. Some kind of butt plug guy from Ulm. Nice. So fucking funny. Rush Bait, the Tribal King. Nice, nice. Trick, the Black Harpy. Y'all better recycle the Uten Hearse. Jax, if anyone wonders, Jax is my dog's name. A12, yo, holes, never lucky. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, I don't think that is a random name. I think that's just a random name. I don't think it's the one they gave them. Fury, the Chieftain, might be the same one as well. I don't know if that's a special name. I think that's just a regular name. Cool. There's some funny ones up there in the start, I'll tell you. So, we see this expansion here. As of right now, we possibly could have gone for 69, being in this Marcata province here. But being 80 Marcata, and I was thinking on top of that, we are just using the short bows of the Nabayan warriors at this point. We do not have any camel riders yet. Thought it was a little risky because we had so few elite guard, and the Jans, of course, they had glamour, but I mean, glamour pops really fast to arrows. So I decided to go for 57 instead. All it has is militia, heavy infantry, and light infantry. I figured we'd definitely be able to beat that. Possibly could have gone for 59 at this point too, due to the fact of us not seeing any knights or anything or any heavy cav. Didn't necessarily want to fight barbs in the very first battle. I kind of would have waited until I had a little bit more archer fire for that, and that was my idea around it. So as you can tell, now that we have just moved to the elite warriors, since we wouldn't be able to bless the Jan Guard at this point, and they're basically one the same, but since we're not being able to bless them, I'd probably just rather take the heavier protection, just seeing what's around us, being lots and lots of archers here. So kind of took the glamour into consideration and decided to not go with it after that. So I did not use my scout this turn. I probably edited my turn. Of course, we'll see next turn. We have made a single Carib here. Now, as far as my choices when it comes to buying troops or buying mages here early on. It's you can actually recruit these Shiki or Camel Rider commanders here out of every province, so you don't necessarily need to buy or you don't need to waste turns making the Adite generals or anything like that here in the capital. Definitely just use your money, spend it on mages early on, get that early research boost, especially if you're going Magic 3. That's going to be very, very nice for you. Now, these Carib here, they're actually 7 research points, and of course, with our Magic 3, it boosts them up to 10 for 80 gold. That's actually really, really good. The other mage that you could go with early on here is the Mukarib or Mukarib. Now this is 120 gold, still 7 research points though, but the bright side about this is as an Astral 1 Holy 2, so very, very nice. It also has Fortune Tailor, which is can also give you added buffs to it. But if you're trying to save money early on, which in this case we don't necessarily need to, but I would like to really get some early Malika out just to get very high site searching going. I would like to save money early on. So that is kind of my idea process around that. Really don't make too many Sahir out of the capital. Once I get to the point of where I start making enough money per turn to make the Karib, or no, the Malika, I will be making those every turn or every 2 turns, of course, because they're 4 commander points. And of course, the Mukarib and the Karib both have very crucial parts to play as far as the rest of the game goes. So there's certain times when you want to recruit one over the other. So we'll look at the not morale, but we would look at the actually very interesting. They have very low morale. Surprised about that. We'll look at the upkeep cost 48 for the Mug Carib, and then for the Carib we see here he has 32. So as far as a research monkey, you are going to want these Caribs. They're cheaper. Their upkeep is cheaper versus the Mukarib, and the Mukarib is going to be more of a combat central mage at this point for you. Be used as a communion kind of battery at that point, he might burn out. You could try to do some like fancy regeneration or regeneration type things with him, but unless you have to do like large regeneration, bless with the or have regeneration on your bless, and maybe even something on top of that. Maybe even some health items to give him some extra HP. At that point, he could regen out of the damage being taken, I believe. But it's so much commitment that I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. Um, Another thing that's quite interesting with the Mukarib here is that they could be a very, very strong. Once they go into communions, they can be very, very strong. It's going to turn them all into holy threes, just having 2 communion slaves and having. I mean, you could pick as many masters as you want at that point because I mean, the holy it really isn't going to fatigue them out all that much. So yeah, they're very, very strong. Communion holy nation, I guess, as far as that goes, as far as this mage goes, for sure. And then, of course, your Makali over here, very, very high path made, very, very expensive. Lots of nice randoms you can get here. Fire 4, Air 4, Earth 2, which is actually really good. You want to hit a Earth 2. Of course, you can use a astral go into communions, and just having that nature random sometimes might be useful. Of course, you can always get nature random indies from provinces pretty easy, but being able to put nature into communion might be a little different. So keep that in mind. And honestly, I probably would have dropped 2 of these and done something like this. As far as the games that I play now, I try to keep a lot closer eye on the resource to recruitment point. Try to keep them, try to use up as much as I can. Possibly even doing all of these camel riders and just reinforcing the main front here as we take this cap circle. This is kind of my improvement. I feel like I've made expansion a little bit easier. Like I wouldn't give up a camel rider just to make just 1 elite soldier at that point where I could just turn that into 4 camel riders. because Camel Riders are actually pretty great. They have a 40 range composite bow for 11 damage. Scimitar is doing 17. Defense skill of 14. Yeah, they have low protection, but what you're not seeing here on this chassis is that it's going to be getting this bird unit here at the start of the battle. It gets one falcon, and that is really good for disrupting, especially if you have a lot of these Camel Riders. Do not underestimate them. I mean, of course, the falcon's going to die, but the amount of disruption caused is going to be worth it for sure. So, and that's all we're doing for the moment. That is turn 2. As far as the first episode goes, we're only going to be going to turn 6, I believe, okay? So that should work well for this first turn, because they normally go relatively fast. Got a lot of Fallen Empires games I need to catch up on. I'll probably record one of those tonight as well. Hope you guys have been enjoying all the series we've had so far. Should have got me some more water before I started. So we have 2 unexpected events, and we had a battle here. Let's look at these unexpected events first. So we have an unrest event, not that great, and we got a gem event here. 2 fire gems, 3 air gems, 3 water, 2 earth. In total, that is a 10 gem event. That's very, very nice. And let's watch this battle. Of course, I'm seeing the event happen. Of course, you can tell we won, but it's still worth watching. I really like how the Gen Guard here on either flanks of the elite soldiers. We do see Glimmer being popped on one there. Looks like we lost one of the Gen Guard. Very unfortunate. We have Glimmer popped on another, and I think that's from, I don't know if that's from the arrows of our own, but we only lost one of those, so that is not too shabby, I guess. I mean, we do have a Cap Circle province at this point. And that is it. It looks like we had some late prophets here. Chief, Flesh Golem. Interesting. So, next we'll be pushing these elite soldiers along with the units that we have here. Elite soldiers, Vanguard, and the warriors into the Makata here. Honestly enough, definitely feel like we would have been much stronger if we went with the Camel Riders instead of the Elite Guard. I mean, because we only had 4 Elite Guard versus, what, 10 Camel Riders, or even more than that. And of course, like I said, I definitely wouldn't have been doing this in my later games, in which course I think I would probably post one of my other Naba games. I would not double recruit here from the capital Camel Riders. I would keep going with the Carib here. Push up another, well, we can't because of recruitment points. Just leave it like that. And then I would go to this province, which I'm already doing, and I make one of these Camel Rider commanders here and use that. I mean, I could possibly see why I thought so. It looks like we are pinking the Barb province with the scout. My ideas on why I thought that at the time was possibly that I could have put the units here on a commander like this and then pushed them out, but if we were moving here, I don't know if the moving from a plains, even though there's a road on it, moving into a forest after that, I don't know if the mage itself may be able to do it with 16 map move. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, see, 18. So we would have definitely needed a Camel Rider commander here to actually move the Camel Riders from the capital over to 65, which has the Ichthids in it. So, I'm not sure if we'll move somewhere else, if we'll just go hit the Ichthids with the same combined force of the capital, or if we'll do something regardless, or something else regardless. We do have Lake Mist here, so a Water Mage can summon a Mist Warrior. We produce 1 Water Gem per turn. That's very nice to see early on. But this is what it's going to look like here for the 3rd turn. And this is what our other provinces are going to always look like essentially in the early game. Every province that we're going to be taking early on here are going to look like this, okay? We're going to have a commander in here. We're going to get to the point where we have a couple commanders going back and forth, ferrying troops to the front line or wherever we're fighting at. And then we're always going to be making a couple of these camel riders in every province here. And that is really going to increase our production of our units very efficiently here, just kind of filling in any of the gaps we might take in the expansion phase of the game. And by turn 12 or whenever expansion is over, that's going to leave us in a pretty strong point in the game. We're going to have a decent amount of research because our capital has been recruiting researchers every turn. We're going to have a decent amount of troops because every province we've taken so far is producing troops at the same time along with our capital. We're going to be using elite soldiers and we're going to be using camel riders, two very, very good units. I feel anyway, camel riders, if they get in combat with them, I mean, they have decent defense skill. They have a nice hitting weapon attack here of 17 damage. They have their falcons or composite bows. And then when we look at the elite guard here, hitting for 23 damage, protection 15, 25 hit points. Attack skill 12, defense skill 14. These are very, very hefty units here. And I've played in games where people have ran into my expansion force or one of my expanding forces early on in the game and I killed their god. Or I've killed opposing expansion parties just because my troops are normally stronger. So quite interesting. Usually those half giants really don't care about HP at that point when they're swinging for 23 damage and they have 25 health on their own. They can take a hit back. So very, very fun stuff here. So pinging barbs, attacking Mercata. The resources here from the forest is going to greatly help our production. And that's turn 3, so let's head over to turn 4. Turn 4. I try to save all my games regardless if I'm going to record them or not. It does always kind of help you out when it comes to knowledge, unless you're writing absolutely everything down. I try not to write everything down. I try to just kind of go back on turns. So that's something to keep in mind as you play in your own games, of course. So we have two battles here, one in Great Dunes, one in Halmir. So one, of course, was a scout. The other one was our main force. Now this is the main force fighting the Markada. And there's a fair few, along with Atavi warriors here. I like how that commander is way off to the side. We also see one in the middle and then one on the other flank there. I'm sure these sticks and stones and short bows are not going to really bother our elite soldiers. Might bother the glamour on these guys. Might actually bother these 3 protection Naban warriors back here. But, I mean, these guys, they're chopping them up. I mean, yeah, sure, Makata can fit 6 to a square. They have pretty decent defense skill. But if they get hit, they're dead. 0 protection, 5 hit points. Especially when they're starting to get enveloped here. Alright. Carter's gone. Atavi's gone. Atavi archers are getting hit at this point, and they are running away. We lost 3 Naban Desert Warriors. Now, I expected to take losses from them for sure, because I thought they were getting that arrow fire, which we talked about. We did kill 80. There was almost 90 Makata there. I don't know if we could have took that on the first turn, or the second turn, but and we have the battle here in the Great Dunes. Just want to get an idea of how many barbs there are. Actually, it looks around the 30-ish mark here. Yeah, 31. Okay. So that's nice to know, because it's been showing 40 to 50. It's nice to know there's only 30 there. It's a lot more manageable. Here we do have just one group going after the Ichthids. Don't know if that's a good idea or not. We do see 110 Lion Tribe, and we see Heavy Cav here in 86. So we decided to pull the profit back because, I mean, 110 versus 26. I mean, I believe in my guys, but that's a lot of javelin fire. That is a lot of arrow fire. I think more than likely what would happen is all these guys here on the Divine Warriors would probably die. we would take some damage here from the javelins, and then these guys would rout from the HP loss. But we're pulling these guys back, probably going after one of these provinces next, but we're still trying to expand here. While they are going here to this turn, we're definitely going to give them a little bit of extra boost by giving them these soldiers here, these elite soldiers, and then we're also throwing in a light infantry. But honestly enough, guys, if I started a game the other day and I'm playing it right now, I would not be doing this. I would not be wasting all these recruitment points that we have here. I would probably be dropping 3 of these guys. Let's see. And there you go. That's what it would look like instead. That would increase your power so much. You already have a decent melee force there in the front, but adding all these camel warriors or camel riders, I am telling you, will greatly increase your power and expanding. Much more than 3 elite warriors or 4 elite warriors. So keep that in mind. I would definitely be doing this instead of what I did. So, if you kind of, as a player progresses, I guess, as playing a nation, that's something you want to keep track of. Something I mean, of course, you're never going to explain the same way you did it when you first played a nation, but so keep that in mind. Already moved this fella out, getting an early site search done. We have the points here. I mean, he just moved his troops over to the Prophet. So I figured might as well site search. There's a good chance that this forest is going to have something that we want, regardless if it's Earth or a holy site. We're going to be pinging this throne, keeping this information for later. I can always come back to the turn and look at what's inside of it since we're pinging it this turn. Also, something you can do is you can make a commander, which I should have been making a commander there. You can make a scout out of every province, okay? I think I made the Atavi chieftain just because they're cheaper, and I just wanted him to ferry troops. But the Naban scout, guys, this is the best thing. This is better than indie scouts. This is better than any scout, probably any scout you can find. This is a super cheap, 20 gold, 50 stealth scout here. It can make in any province, and very, very nice. It should look like this. This should be what we're doing. Little corrections as we are looking at this game afterwards, of course. I definitely feel that as a player, I have grown from playing this game. This was only my second time playing Naba. I've played Naba a couple more times since then, and honestly, I feel like every time has kind of been going better since then. As far as expansion, getting into the mid game, fighting the first war, things have been increasingly getting better for me with this nation. I've really, really enjoyed them, and honestly, I think you should try them out as well if you want to, for sure. Probably would have done something like that. Get some early scouts out. Probably tough one to decide if one extra, counting commander, 2 extra would help out. Take you up to 15 versus 30 on the Ichthys there. Interesting. I don't remember if we win or lose this. So that is turn 4. Let's go to turn 5 and find out here. Not sure how long the video's been going. I will check in just a moment. Hopefully not too long. I want to definitely get to turn 6. Oh, 33 minutes. Let's hurry up. We need to hurry. I guess for a first episode, that's not too bad, but I want to keep it kind of lower. So this is just us pinging. Shouldn't have pinged with the commander. Should have just pinged with the scout, I'm telling you. We did find a site here. It spreads dominion. That's actually quite interesting. Then we have the battle here in the Copper Woods. Oh, we just pinged it. We didn't actually use the forces there. We just pinged. That's because we recruited. Why do we go there? I guess I was not very confident in the forces here at this point. Interesting. I should have done something like this. If I was playing now, I would have done this. And yeah, I would have attacked 59 before I attacked the waist there. We are also pinging 51 this turn. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't attack the Ithid sooner there. We did see a mage there, along with about 30 troops. So, of course, the throne here in our cap circle has conjurers, sorcerers, circle masters. More than likely, they're going to be doing things like horde of skeletons, raise dead, things like that. That's what you're going to normally see out of these guys. They also have a decent amount of blood slaves on them. But yeah, they're going to be raising dead here, astrals. So that is quite interesting. But through our research, I don't think that's going to bother us all that much. But the spreads to minions actually very nice for us taking scales. Construction 2, then we go in Alt 3 and Enchantment 4. The only difference I do now is I go straight to Enchantment 4. I don't hit Alt 3 first. I think my ideas at the time of going Alt 3 was using my Mukrib, Makali, what are they called? Malika. I'm using the Malika to take some of the water early on. But honestly enough, I don't necessarily like that. Maybe for this game, due to how much water there was and how much free space there was, because there's no water nation, that's considerable. But going Enchantment 4, normally enough, your first war target is not going to be able to hold up against flaming arrows. Since you have so many arrows, you're going to have so many camel riders, Naban warriors, and your elite troops are good on their own. Um, I'm telling you, it's going to be Enchantment 4 for me normally. But with going Alteration, there is a bright side to that. We do get some great buffs for our nation. We're going to be able to do Iron Skin on our thugs. We're going to be able to cast Luck on our troops. So, the very, very good misform for our thugs. But they already have some of them have Glamour, some don't. I don't remember if the Malika have Glamour. So, ups and downs. But if I was playing it again, I'd be going straight for Enchantment 4 probably. Anything else? Anything else? No, we'll be taking 59 next turn, and that'll be all for turn 5. Cap giving us decent gold. Still kind of getting a little bit of a stockpile at this point. Still making troops out of every province. Now, we should be looking a lot better than we are right now, but that's because we had to take that extra turn to come back here to the capital with our expansion force, and we did not hit this the turn before. We should have hit that already. So definitely bad on my part, but hopefully the way the thrones have been placed, that will help us expand, even though we have kind of screwed around here a little bit in the early few turns. And that was turn 5. Let's go ahead and finish it off with turn 6 here relatively fast. I know this video is going a little long, but it's all in good fun. On turn 6. Alrighty, so we have 2 battles here. One's from a scout, one is from the Prophet's army. And we also got a hero this turn, so quite interesting. We'll look at them in just a moment. We will look at this province here first. And we see nothing. I assume this is a level 1 throne. I do not see any godlike chassis. I don't really see any special units. I just see indies. So this is going to be a very, very weak throne for us to take later on. That is very, very lucky for us. Hopefully they will give us something nice. Here we have a large line. We have a few limping units. Possibly crippled. But these guys, they're going to tear through indies. Like, they don't even care. They don't care you're heavy infantry. They're just gonna put their falchion right in you. A scimitar. They have scimitars. For some reason I thought they had falchions. Bronze scimitars, okay. Something else that's quite interesting you can take, because water items are a little bit cheaper, and they'll let you take a little bit more here in DE. But of course, these guys, their armor is going to rust in the water. But these Jan Guard, actually, since they have bronze, I don't think bronze will rust in the water here. So keep that in mind too. Quite interesting. Could take some small parties into the water. And then we do have a hero here. Nice to get a little boost of early research points there. Being 14 per turn, we're already at 34. Not too bad. We are taking, yeah, we're taking 35 this turn, and we're pinging 79. It's been showing somewhere between 40 and 110. That is a huge range there. I guess there's somewhere around 60 or 70. We're moving. Honestly, we should have hit this heavy cav. I think we should have hit this heavy cav, and we should have kept moving down. Um, stopping at 27 here, possibly moving to 13 or 17 to kind of block off anything else if no one is already there. Because as we can tell that there is nobody here. I don't see any candles. I don't see any units anywhere. So should have definitely went down there because I expect that this is going to stay there for a while. Getting 3 camel riders from there, getting 2 camel riders from there, getting 2 camel riders from there, and a commander. So that is what it's looking like. We are searching here in 57, just because, we already found one side. I said, let's go ahead and try it again. Could have had a stronger argument just send them back and have them research, but I mean, that's such a low amount of research. But I mean, early on it could help you, of course. Looks like we got diseased. There must be a death site somewhere around here. Keep that in mind for later. I did put these very, very high unrest provinces here up to 11 defense, just because I wanted to get that income a little bit sooner, get the unrest down a little bit sooner. Because, I mean, 11,000 population here in our cap circle. Holy crap. 9,000, almost 10,000 here. That's 5,000. Okay. But these are very nice provinces to not be farmlands. I mean, that's some very high pop for just a random province. Now, waste, we're gonna have a lot of waste as well, so that's gonna be kind of low there. So that's kind of gonna even us out, I suppose. So Deer Tribe shouldn't have a problem with it. Ichthids are going to be the next battle whenever we come back for our second episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Um, Looks like we will be finishing up construction 2 in 2 turns. Going up to alteration 3 shouldn't take us too long, and then enchantment 4. This is our income so far. 2 water gems, or we got an extra water gem so far. That's the only thing we got. I mean, we got random gems from events, but other than that, we only have 1 steady income of extra water. So that's pretty cool. Some pretty weak indies here in the water. That one's 50 Merrill's kind of tough for us, just because we don't have anything yet, of course. But hopefully, when we take this province, we can make some Ichthids to help go down. That's going to be very nice for us to take. Farmland, if we can fight through it. Definitely going to have to be a later kind of thing. Sometimes you do have to go around those heavy calf provinces. Camel riders aren't going to do that great against heavy calf. Elite soldiers will do okay, but you're definitely going to want more camel riders and elite soldiers early on, because you will normally see a lot more, just as an example here, bear tribe, wolf tribe, barbarians, ichthids, militia, things like that. Camel riders are going to excel when fighting those units, whereas fighting heavy cav, they just aren't going to do it. And of course, as I say that, we've recruited basically a lot of elite soldiers, but yeah, I definitely feel like we should have been doing this a whole lot more. And this is what I've been doing since then. Honestly enough, of course, I will show probably another game on this channel, and you'll see a lot more of this and a lot less of them. And then we already have a Malika coming out next turn already. Still have 300 gold in the bank, and it is turn 6. My goodness, I don't know why I made one so soon. Normally I wait around turn 12-ish to start doing it. I usually get a extra castle I usually get a castle started before I make one. But yeah, it's gonna be some early site searching or some early recruitment, or I think as far as it goes, when you make them, okay, they're at 21, they'll go up to 24. Yeah, they're cost. I mean, they're expensive, but as far as research points per turn go, they're going to give you more research points as far as just recruiting a unit. So very interesting here. But having our Dominion spread, getting that luck scales, getting those order scales, production, the rest of it is going to be great for getting all these provinces here. And our Dominion is spreading far, and we can see that there's still nobody down here yet at 27 as a good sign. Um, we do see enemy Dominion here, but we don't see it here. Makes me assume that there's somebody in this area. I guess somewhere over here. Of course, somebody's here, but they're still kind of far away, though. That's what we're seeing from this. And that was turn 6, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to come back and watch the next part. And hope you guys have a good one. Bye.